Hey gang, me again. I had some questions about the Reunion Blues Aero soft case. Unlike a gig bag, a typical gig bag, they flop when you do that. This thing is good and sturdy, super strong. But I had some questions about fitting different basses. You know, would a jazz bass fit in here well enough that the tuning keys don't hit the side, or is it long enough to hold the jazz bass or a P bass? So I thought I'd do just a real quick video to talk about that. I think I mentioned before that I use this primarily for my Stingray. So being that the Stingray has the shorter headstock, it fits in here fine. And what I typically do is put my folded up strap, it's just a cloth strap, at the bottom of the case. And even when I do that, the headstock for the Music Man doesn't come to about maybe here. You know, so plenty of room for the Stingray. If I take this out and grab my 5-string jazz bass, because it has the offset body, most people already know this, the jazz bass is a little bit longer. They tend to be a little bit longer than a standard precision. But when you put the jazz in here, and the G&L, I think G&L basses in general are slightly bigger than the Fender basses, dimensions. And the jazz bass, this is the 5-string, is slightly bigger than the G&L 4-string jazz. At any rate, with the bass inside the case, you can see that it it slipped out. It's hard to do and show you this at the same time because this top is so rigid. I can't zip the bottom and do the top as well, but it barely touches the top in here. Might go in a 1/4 inch. At most, I'd probably say more like an 1/8 of an inch. But you do have the D-string tuning key. It makes contact with the side of the bag. Now the 4-string doesn't do that, which seems odd, but you know. And also the G&Ls have a lot of handwork done to the necks. So each one could be, you know, slightly different than the next. But it still fits in here. It does a fine job. The P bass, in this case my G&L SB1, American made. I don't know if there's any dimensional differences between this and the Tribute model, but it fits in here with plenty of room. See there at the top. You've probably got a 1/4 of an inch of play between the top of the headstock and the padding, the inside of the padding. Tuning keys don't come in contact with the sides. But let's say they did. This case is so rigid. First, you see there's a little bit of movement here, right? As opposed to the new Reunion Blues Continental, which doesn't use a Velcro strap. It has more of a thicker pad, and it's more of a pillow. You can check out my other video for that one. But this one here has a little bit of play. So let's say you zip this up. If for some reason you drop the case or something falls onto it here, this thing is super sturdy. even if that tuning key is touching the side of here, I don't see it being damaged at all. I really don't think it's going to knock it out of tune. But let's face it, every time before we do rehearsals, or before you have a gig, you tune up. Everybody tunes up. If I really don't see the case causing your guitar to go out of tune. It's going to be far more susceptible to humidity changes and weather conditions. At any rate, if you're concerned about impact, if the keys were touching against the side and something hit here real hard, you saw that play that was in the neck. The keys will not take the full impact of that. This padding absorbs and displaces that energy. If it was a really hard hit, that neck's just going to slide off to the side because of that play. And again, that would have to, if something hit here hard enough to damage that tuning peg, I think you have bigger problems than whether or not the guitar is going to go out of tune. At any rate, still really dig this case. Keep in mind, it's primarily just to protect your instrument. There's very little storage in this one. You do have here at the bottom, this unzips, and that's all you get. And there's not much room in there. You could probably, small notebooks, if you had an iPad, would fit in here, I imagine. And it goes up here pretty far, but I wouldn't put too much stuff in here because it doesn't have any movement on the side. The zipper is right here at the very side. So you're only putting in maybe a pack of strings. Your music for the evening, and that would be it. Otherwise, this thing is fantastic. So there you have it. If you have any questions or you want to know more, if you've got specific questions, leave them in the comments. If you found this video helpful, let me know. And share it with your friends. See you around. Take care. Bye.